You are listening to Fantha Tracks.
It's time to spin round the rim. This is Desert Planet Discs. Star Wars music in a single file. Here are your hosts, Carl Bayless and Greg Robertson.
It's the Desert Planet Discs Life Day Special, starring Carl Bayless as Mooncat Drums, Greg Robertson as Darth Elvis, and introducing your children to nightmares is Chewbacca's dad, Itchy, with special guests Darth Elvis and Friends and Jefferson Starship. The Desert Planet Discs Life Day Special, aka TFI Life Day, is brought to you by Fantha Tracks.
I'm going to have to run back and operate the aft gun manually. Stay on things here. Why do I always think that taking you home for Life Day is going to be easy?
Hello and welcome to this special Desert Planet Discs Life Day Special. Yes, we're celebrating the Wookiee holiday of Life Day. Me and my Wookiee companion, you know him, you love him. It's Carl Mooncat Bayless. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, that's Wookiee for I've got a really chewy toffee on the go.
How are you doing, sir? You good?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
I am very well, very well. I'm excited about celebrating Life Day Desert Planet Disc style.
Who wouldn't be? Because
Exactly.
it is much maligned in Star Wars fandom. It's definitely a Marmite. You love it or you hate it. Certainly, George Lucas and Disney hate it.
Hey,
But-
I think the holiday special is the gift that keeps on giving.
It is.
If you can find it online.
Yes, and we're gonna dig into it a little bit this evening and chat about what goes on, whether we understand what the hell it was all about, and generally revel in memories of seeing it way back and more recently, and the myriad of things that have been brought back into canon to actually keep Life Day alive.
Indeed, yeah. It's certainly growing traction again, I think, and I'm hopeful that one day we might just get like a remastered version. I'll probably be dead and buried by the time that ever happens. But you know, you can be hopeful that one day the holiday special will get the proper love it deserves, with a vintage collection series of figures and Black Series.
Or a
And Hot
reboot.
Toys.
Or
I
a
want a-
reboot.
Or a reboot. I want a Hot Toys at Acmina.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
But there you go. There's a conversation we could start off already of like, if you rebooted the holiday special, who would you have as the modern day equivalents of the cast of yesteryear?
See, obviously we're in the good old UK, we're recording this, and we know who B. Arthur is, obviously from the Golden Girls and Maude and stuff.
Yeah.
But some of the other, I guess, big names in America, Art Carney was one of the guest stars, and I forget the name of the other chap. Not so famous over here, I wouldn't have said.
No.
You know, it's kind of like, who would we have? I don't know, Michael McIntyre. In place of Art Carney or something. In a modern reboot. It's filmed in the UK. Michael McIntyre.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's a
Prue Leith as Acmina. In fact, generally, just have the cast of Bake Off. The Great British Bake Off Life Day.
Yeah, well.
Noel Fielding, Matt Lucas, Paul Hollywood, Prue Leith. There you go. There's your cast for our TFI Life Day reboot.
That'd be great. I'd sign up for that straight away. In fact, I might write to the Bake Off team and ask them to consider
a Life Day special. Absolutely.
So obviously the holiday special kicks off with Han and Chewie trying to battle their way back to Kashyyyk so Chewie can celebrate Life Day with his family. Obviously we get the intro from the narrator boy telling us who's coming up in the show. Following that, we get introduced to Chewie's family. Lovely Mala, that little scamp Lumpy, and the nightmare fuel that is Itchy.
Yes.
What were your thoughts the first time you saw, well, first of all, like Kashyyyk being like, I don't know, it was like an Ewok village on steroids, and and then Chewie's family.
Yeah, well, because the design for the Ewok village in Return of the Jedi was apparently they wanted to do Kashyyyk, but logistically it was a bit of a nightmare, and so they came up with short Wookiees.
Yeah.
Ewookiees. So the design is obviously quite familiar from, the Return of the Jedi and obviously then subsequently the Ewok movies.
Which also didn't exist back then when it first
didn't exist back then, no, good point. I'm thinking of having watched it again recently, but of course, yes, they didn't exist. So, in fact, it was a foretelling of what we would see.
Indeed, yeah.
And then obviously retconned for the prequels. When we did actually go to Kashyyyk, it was like, we used our designs for that. So, yeah, rapid rethink on that. And, yeah, the phrase "no expense spared" is often used when it comes to Lucasfilm productions when they were trying to come up with the special effects and invent new ways of filming things. The same can't really be said for the holiday special.
Yeah.
Certainly the first time you see Lumpy, you do get the air of, that's a bit of an eBay Wookiee costume.
It's like Chew Crapper, our very own Darth Elvis Friends Chew Crapper.
It is very much like that indeed. And in actual fact, one of the videos, I do believe, features Chew Crapper in his Life Day robes.
You're right, yeah, and yeah.
Stick around for more on that later.
But it's the weirdest start to it's very of its time because it's a 70s variety show.
Yeah.
Directed by, this is a little factoid I worked out about 2 years ago, or there's about. Directed by Steve Binder, who also directed the Elvis 68 comeback special.
Really?
Yeah. So
there you go, fact fans.
So as a Star Wars themed Elvis impersonator, the fact that the same man directed my favourite live, sort of live concert TV special music thing ever, the holiday special, and the 68 comeback special, and then he also directed the holiday special.
Well, there you go.
He was the king of TV variety.
He was the king of specials.
Yeah.
King of specials.
King of specials. Two beauty specials. But the thing I find really weird about the holiday special, and watching it younger, I didn't really notice it, but having got older and rewatching it multiple times, the fact you've got like 10 to 15 minutes of no speech, just Wookiee growls and groans and Lumpy walking about the place going before he jumps onto a railing and it starts tightrope walking on a railing, where later on in the program you see a stormtrooper get thrown off to his death.
Yes, health and safety wasn't a thing back then.
No, it's a strange show, which obviously after 15 minutes of growls, you then go into some trippy dance number.
Yes.
What did you make of that? All the cartwheeling, day glow kind of green, pink, tighted people.
Yeah, very of its time. UK viewers or UK listeners may well be familiar with the phenomenon of Top of the Pops, Pan's People were a regular feature on that when basically they couldn't get the artist in to mime their song. So yeah, it was just a interpretive dance number.
There's got to be a Pan's People Mego Star Wars dance disco tune video.
Oh yeah, there's got to be. There's got to be. In fact, there we go. That's something we're Googling later, kids. The other thing that I think is it's quite, again, of its time and almost a little bit jarring is like from that intro scene, you get the exterior shot of the Millennium Falcon and 2 Star Destroyers, and those are cropped straight out of the movie.
Yeah.
So obviously have the high production values. Then you cut to the interior of the Falcon cockpit,
The Wish.com.
Yeah, the Wish. Yeah, it's definitely a. Yes, we haven't actually got access to the original Falcon cockpit because that's in a skip somewhere in London. After we chucked it away somewhere. So yeah, we've still got some chairs that look like that, and the rest of it we've made out of sort of painted cardboard.
They've got heart,
wobbling it about vigorously.
They've got help from Tony Hart from Heartbeat.
That's it. Definitely a bit of an art attack. Neil Buchanan.
He's apparently a metalhead, isn't he? He's got a metal band, isn't he?
He has. And there's also an online thing rumouring that he is actually Banksy.
I've seen that. Yeah. I still think it's 3D from Massive Attack, but that's me. Yeah.
Anyway, we digress.
I think obviously there's a lot of cut scenes and stuff from A New Hope with obviously Vader walking down the hallways, and they've got James Earl Jones back in to redub over the top of those scenes and stuff. So it's quite interesting for all that kind of extra bits and pieces you're getting dotted amongst all the kind of crazy variety show and Chewie's family and Art Carney and the craziness. But obviously we did have some classic cast members back filming new stuff, and obviously we talked about Han and Chewie at the start there.
Yeah.
But you also had Luke Eyeliner and R2-D2 played by R2-D2.
D2, yes. And it's quite weird. All the main cast of characters, so Chewie is Peter Mayhew, Harrison, Mark, Carrie, we're all back.
Yours as well.
Anthony Daniels is back as 3PO, but R2 is billed as R2-D2, played by R2-D2. And if you dig into it, it was because Kenny Baker wasn't involved. It was more like they have a lot of the time now, where it's majority is sort of radio-controlled droid. That was what they did for the holiday special as well. So even back in 77, 78, the technology was there. Obviously not a patch on the creations of our good chum Lee Towsey and friends.
Yes, indeed.
But
different world these days.
Absolutely.
They wouldn't have the same issues they had back in those days, where R2 getting stuck in sand and falling over. And
yeah. But yes, Luke wearing more makeup than Carrie.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just that initial shot when you have the intro titles and like just his face appears in a little circle in the starfield. And it's like, why is he wearing eyeliner? Lots of eyeliner.
Yeah, and clearly he's also been told he's not needed for Star Wars duties, and then, you are needed for Star Wars duties, and therefore he's got a very un-Luke-ish haircut.
Yeah.
Very, very well coiffured. Is that the word?
Coiffed.
Yeah. yes. These days, it's not a word that either of us really have to worry too much about.
No, follically challenged, the two of us, I think. So
yes.
He looks like with the amount of eyeliner, he looks like he's auditioning for like My Chemical Romance or something.
Yes.
He's going
again, George Lucas ahead of the curve.
Oh yeah.
Emo before it was cool.
Yes, indeed. And as I mentioned, obviously those cutscenes from A New Hope with James Earl Jones, and pretty cool. But then you get into some more bizarre territory again, and you get cooking time, where you've got the four-armed chef. Can't remember if that's Art Kearney or the other person whose name totally escapes my mind. Cooking Bantha Surprise.
The surprise is there's no bantha in it.
Exactly. Hey, we should start our own called Bantha Surprise.
We should with no fantasy. Yeah. We're not going to start cooking each other. That would be bad. But with that in mind, there's a new Life Day cookbook coming out. There is.
Do you think it's going to feature Bantha Surprise?
Well, when we were talking about this episode, you did pose that question, so I went off and did a little bit of homework.
Yes.
And there is indeed a recipe for Bantha Surprise in there.
Ooh.
So, yes, the Star Wars Life Day Cookbook, billed as Official Holiday Recipes from a Galaxy Far, Far Away, is coming out this November, so later this month, in a poor bit of marketing. It's not to coincide with Life Day. I think it's actually towards the end of the month. But yeah, it's by author Jen Fujikawa and Mark Sumarek, and it's a bit of the official blurb here. It's the follow-up to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge official Black Spire Outpost cookbook, which I haven't seen, but if it's anything like the Escape from Black Spire book, will be full of recipes that directly reference everything in the Disney park.
Yeah.
But yes, it says it's great for all skill levels, and it will teach chefs of any skill level to prepare delicious appetizers, main courses, beverages, and desserts from planets such as Kashyyyk, Endor, Mon Cala, Alderaan, and beyond.
Very nice.
So I'm guessing the Alderaan stuff's mainly toasted.
Some sort of eat-and mess type of...
Yeah. 50 holiday recipes and clever crafts. And it does say, including Bantha Surprise, Roshir Bramble, Jelly Life Day Orbs, and Mudhorn Eggnog. So bringing it right to date with Mandalorian references there. And there's also some family-friendly crafts, from building your own Life Day Orbs to Wookiee robes that will help you celebrate Life Day.
Oh, come on.
So, yeah, I'm sorry to say, people, you are going to have to get behind Greg and myself in the queue, because we're getting those.
Yeah, the book's pre-ordered already. I've got the book on pre-order. I'm excited. Going to give that Mudhorn Eggnog a go, I think. I've got some nice eggnog glasses.
I have a couple of the Star Wars cookbooks already.
Wookiee cookies?
Wookiee Cookies, there's a second. It's Wookiee Cookies 2, and then BB-8.
Oh, I've got the first two. I haven't got that one. Ooh.
Yeah, the BB-8 one is obviously a bit more recent, but I think is it Wookiee Cookies 2 that's got the really nice Darth Maul template for there's like a Darth Maul Sith salsa.
Oh, okay.
So you make your basic salsa, and then you sprinkle poppy seeds over the top, but there's like a template, a stencil, that you put over the top of your bowl, sprinkle your poppy seeds on, take it off, and it's all Darth Maul's tattoos.
Oh, that's very cool.
In poppy seeds on top of the red of and then you put, I think it's olives or something, because his eyes. It looks awesome in the book. I've never actually made it.
You need to have a cookbook night.
Yeah.
Star Wars cookbook session.
In fact, I feel an offshoot podcast coming on. Dessert Planet Discs.
Star Bakes.
Yeah. There we go.
So just remember, it's Harvey Korman is the name of the guy who plays the chef. And also plays Krellman and Chief Gormada.
Okay.
Easy for you to say. So yes, this holiday special cookbook coming soon. I'm excited about that. Then this is where the holiday special gets dark for me. This is where it gets just a little bit...
It does actually go quite dark.
It does go quite dark. It gets a little bit sordid. You've got a special appearance by Diane Carroll, who, again, was very famous in the 70s and the 80s. But you get Itchy, Chewie's dad, attached himself to what I would describe as, like, Wookiee hub.
Yes.
He has, like, a strange kind of porn hut. That may be the name.
Yeah. Yeah, it's for what would have been prime time viewing, it is quite risque, shall we say?
Yes.
And yeah, quite who signed off on that as a segment. I mean, we are doing Diane Carroll a little bit of disservice, in as much as it does go into a lovely song by her.
Indeed.
But it's sort of done, as you say, as like a sort of almost a dream sequence, but like a sort of virtual reality leisure experience.
Indeed. It's in fact, the song sung by Diane Carroll is This Minute Now. It's like a virtual reality machine. He gets invited to experience her.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's about it, really.
Yeah, that'll be...
Yes.
We'll talk about it more on Fantha After Dark.
Indeed.
The adults only podcast.
Yes. Join our Patreon channel for the special unedited footage and conversation.
We're coming close to what will be our first piece of music, but before we go there, we need to talk about some Imperial entanglements which happen in Chewie's family home. A little bit of lumpy bullying, I would say, from the Imperials. They're not too nice to him, pushing him around, and
that's just not right, is it?
I think they throw his toys around a little bit. It's like, yeah, you feel a bit sorry for Lumpy.
Yeah, Imperials throwing their toys out of the pram.
Do you think he's called Lumpy because he's been thrown about by stormtroopers and Imperial officers so much that he's got lots of lumps under his fur?
Yeah, you do kind of wonder, were those production nicknames, or because Nala and Chewbacca you can kind of go with as being in-world names, but Lumpy and Itchy, yes, I mean, maybe it's Lumpbacker and Itchbacker, so we get Chewy, Itchy, Scratchy.
That's what keeps going in my head.
Itchy and Scratchy, yes, that's exactly what. Yeah, Itchy and Lumpy.
Itchy and Lumpy show.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah, I do wonder whether those two names do kind of bring you a little bit out of the Star Wars arena. But I suppose, yeah, Chewie, when he's referred to as Chewie, if you didn't hear him referred to as Chewbacca, then
do you want to know the full names?
Oh, go on then.
I've got them here. So Mala's full name is Malatubak. Malotubak.
Okay.
Itchy's is, sounds like I'm going to sneeze or something here, Atichikuk.
Okay.
Atichikuk. And Lumpy is Lumparump or Lumparoo.
See, now,
Lumparump.
The others I can accept now that we're getting the simplified versions of, but Lumparump.
Lumparump.
Yeah. Still
sounds like a musical instrument. Lumparump.
And talking of musical instruments, as we were, yes, not only was Diane Carroll among the musical guests, we also got at the time, unreleased or not featuring on any previous albums, a song called Light the Sky on Fire from Jefferson Starship, who latterly are known as just Starship, and prior to the interest in the space race were actually called Jefferson Airplane. And yes, changed their name to Jefferson Starship to coincide with all the interest in all things space brought on by things like Star Trek and Star Wars. So there you go, Fax fans. They also then redeemed themselves by doing the song Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now
from the Mannequin soundtrack.
From the Mannequin soundtrack, yes. And of course, Mannequin rhymes with Anakin.
It does.
There you go. Here's
another little factoid before we play the track. This apparently, the video or this performance was the singer Marty Balin's final appearance with Jefferson Starship. He left the band in October that year.
He left the band after realising what he'd done.
He left the band a month before the show went out, and he later rejoined the band in 1993.
After everybody had completely forgotten about the holiday special.
And George thought he destroyed all the copies.
But involvement in the holiday special aside, I think it's a very good song.
A great song. I really like it.
And yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll see another version of it surface at some point. But for now, this is Jefferson Starship with Light the Sky on Fire.
going to be preparing a very succulent dish called Bantha Surprise.
So that was Light the Sky on Fire, performed by Jefferson Starship from the Star Wars Holiday Special. What can you say? I mean, that is a belter of a song, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not what you would expect. But I guess moving forward to 2021 and having pop punk in Tatooine Rhapsody from Star Wars Visions, it's nice to see a bit of rock back on the menu.
Yeah.
In Star Wars.
That's it. As we've already said, it was prime time variety show. Fans of our news podcast, Making Tracks, will be aware from their intro that the holiday special featured, instead of Wonder Woman and the Incredible Hulk.
Indeed, yeah.
So it was proper primetime family viewing, and yeah, to have a bit of rock on the menu is never a bad thing.
Never a bad thing indeed. And from that rock, we then get another, obviously very family-friendly thing, an animated special part of the holiday special, titled The Story of the Faithful Wookiee. One of the things that gives me hope of getting holiday special in its entirety somewhere at some point, you will find that animated section on Disney Plus in the vintage Star Wars section.
The vintage Star Wars section, yes.
If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend going to check it out for many reasons, but Han Solo's long face being one of them. He has a why the long face, Han?
Yeah.
Why else would you want to check out that animated short, Mr. Bayless?
Well, it's the animation style. If you compare it to latter-day Lucasfilm animation, such as Clone Wars, Bad Batch, Rebels, and even Visions, you can see just how far animation has come in the space of 30, 40 years. But not only that, we do get to see a prototype. It's not quite prototype, is it? It's a fledgling Boba Fett.
Yeah, it's like slightly different paint variation to Boba you're used to seeing. And there's been quite a lot of merchandise come out. I guess it's similar to the Droids cartoon, I would say.
Yeah.
Very similar to that.
Very similar colouring. Very, very sort of pale blue tones with a bit of other colouring on the sort of chest plate, and a little bit of blue and red here and there, but nowhere near the green that we've come to know and love. And also, you get to see what we now know as the disintegrator rifle from Mandalorian. One of the many ways in which new era Star Wars things or properties are bringing in little nuggets from the holiday special and making them canon again. So the Mandalorian's disintegrator rifle is directly the rifle that Boba has in this animated short.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni quite freely offers that up as, that's where we got it from. The famous line from Empire where Vader is dispatching the bounty hunters or briefing them, and he sort of walks up to Mr. Fett and says, and no disintegrations. And everybody's like, oh, he's obviously got a reputation for this, but clearly this is a standard weapon, but certainly a common weapon amongst Mandalorians. So, we get to see that debut as well.
Yeah. And interestingly, it was written by George Lucas, produced by a Toronto animation company called Nelvana, who produced Droids and Ewoks cartoons. So there's similar styles there. And Luke wears like a yellow jacket, which is very similar to the look he has at the end of A New Hope when he gets his medal. Yeah. Yes.
So talking of Mr. Fett and his first ever on-screen appearance, bringing it right up to date, and a slight sidestep from Life Day, in the last week or so, we've had the full trailer ahead of Disney Plus Day. So obviously the execs at Lucasfilm and Disney Plus were listening to our last show when we said we're bound to get a trailer on Disney Plus Day, and went, we'll prove you wrong, and released it earlier. So
keen listeners.
Yeah, obviously big fans of the show. Yeah, so the trailer has landed. Whether that means we will get more footage, a trailer come behind the scenes sizzle reel type thing. Obviously, we've spoken before about we're getting a documentary episode, Beneath the Helmet, exploring probably a lot of what we've just talked about, the origins of Boba Fett and the history of the character and where this series sort of picks up. But so what did you think of the trailer, Greg?
I'm very excited about the show, but the trailer didn't grab me too much. There was a few things in there I was like, ooh, like the Bamar Monk right at the start. That was a great kickoff. It was nice to see some classic Star Wars aliens in there, much like the Mandalorian's been doing. and obviously Tem and Fennec Shand look great. But I don't know, I think they're still being too secretive about it, not giving too much away, which is probably a good thing. I'm very excited about the show. The trailer didn't grab me too much. I think they could have given you a little bit more than what they gave us, but maybe they're holding that back for next time we get the Disney Plus Day.
Disney Plus Day, yeah.
They might be holding back, which I reckon we will get a little bit more from the Book of Boba, but I think we'll also get like an Andor trailer, maybe a Kenobi reel or something. And the holiday special on Disney Plus 4K remaster. Yeah, I agree. There was not really a great deal of action. Seemed to be setting up the synopsis of, obviously, we know old Bob's taken over Jabba's palace, and he's clearly trying to get the former henchman of Jabba on side, saying that he's going to rule by respect rather than by fear. But then it seems to be that they're all trying to overthrow him pretty much immediately. Yeah, I'll tell you what, another good standout thing for me was seeing an Ithorian, the Hammerhead character. I'm guessing is another sort of crime boss in the underworld, but that was very cool. Yeah, it's some very cool stuff in the trailer. I just felt it. We need more. Need to see more.
Yeah, at this stage, it's a clever trailer in that it sets a bit of the mood, a bit of the sort of background of where it is, what's happening. More spiders in Star Wars.
Yeah,
right out of the gate in the trailer.
That classic Return of the Jedi background, but more Mark creature thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sort of gave you little tidbits of what seems to be the general setting and the general mood, without actually giving you any story or plot line away.
Yeah.
Which I know some people are very vocal these days about the fact that 90% of film and TV trailers give you all the best bits in the trailer, and you don't actually need to then go and see the film or.
Yeah.
So it's a nice change, but yeah, I think generally, count myself among them, people wanted a little bit more indication of maybe where it was going, but not long to wait now. Under 2 months.
Yeah, it's not long at all, is it?
In fact, one of my friends, I was talking to him yesterday, and his kids have started asking Alexa every day, how many days is it to Christmas? So today it's 50 days till Christmas, so that makes it 54 days till the Book of Boba Fett.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom.
As we're recording this, but...
Yes, but by the time you hear this, on Life Day, oh no, here's the maths.
42 days.
Yeah, 42 days, there you go, 12. Yes.
So,
and of course, 42 is the meaning of life. So it's almost like it was planned.
That was definitely planned, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely.
42 days from Life Day.
Yes.
Mm.
And then, of course, we move on to what can only be described as Greg's favourite part of the entire holiday special, and probably the only reason that all these years on he's still such a big fan of it, and that is the sight of the one and only B. Arthur from the Golden Girls as Akmina.
Yes!
Chief barkeep of the cantina. Now, one of the things I've always wondered, I'm presuming this isn't the same cantina that is frequented during A New Hope. Because otherwise there's obviously been a fairly swift turnaround in ownership.
Yes, it looks very...
Or she could be like the relief manager or duty manager that's there that night, I guess.
Yeah, she could be the night manager. I mean, who can get a more fearsome person than B. Arthur to deal with the clientele and cantina at night? Just awesome. I mean, come on. I'm wearing my Golden Girls t-shirt as we film this, knowing that we're going to be talking about the legend that is B. Arthur. And we need, Hasbro, listen up. before you get vintage collection blurgs and any of that nonsense that other friends of ours might be asking for, you need to make... And don't give us any more like holiday painted troopers. No, we want holiday special character. We want Chewbacca's family in the retro style vintage collection card back, and we want B. Arthur on a Star Wars card back. Please make it happen.
Yeah, well,
Pretty please.
If you think about it from the point of view of remanufacturing / cobbling bits together from existing figures, you've got a Chewbacca head.
Yep.
You've got an Emperor's Royal Guard body.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. So that's your Life Day Wookiee robes sorted. At Mina, you can probably reuse a bit of General Leia, Last Jedi, End of Force Awakens bits of Last Jedi. So the dark coloured, like long gown that she has.
Right. Yeah.
So that could. I'm not saying it's 100% screen accurate, but.
Well, I've just taken delivery today of my eldest's Christmas, which is a 3D printer. So
there you go, 3D printing it yourself.
I'm going to be hunting out holiday special figure 3D print files. So
there we go.
If any of our listeners knows where to find some, please
please email them to radio@fanthatracks.com and put with the holiday special 3D printing in the subject, and we'll make sure they reach Greig.
Thank you very much.
Not before Christmas, because that will spoil the surprise.
Indeed. So that is just a cool scene, because obviously the cantina is one of the best scenes in all the Star Wars movies, just because all the different aliens you've got in that, every type of alien you can think of. And obviously in the holiday special, you get to see some of them in a lot more detail. There's some extra characters in there. Harvey Korman back again. I think he's the guy with a hole in the head.
Yeah. Pours his drink into the top of his head.
Yeah.
What a wonderful idea that is.
It's a great idea, isn't it? It's a fantastic idea.
I can still talk while I'm drinking. Glug, 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 glug.
Glug, 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 glug. Yeah, brilliant. Obviously, you see like Snaggletooth, and you've got Biff in there, whether it's Fergal Dan or somebody else, who knows, but very, very cool. And
they still haven't learnt another tune.
No, they're still playing the same, yeah.
Still play, yeah. So they are the ultimate one-hit wonders of the Star Wars universe.
Oh, they've technically got 2 hits. They've got the...
Yeah. There we go.
So, obviously, you can't have B. Arthur in there without a song. So, she sings the classic "Good Night But Not Goodbye" as she's kicking all the punters out
kicking all the reprobates out of the cantina.
Yeah.
And what better way to celebrate that than by letting loose our very own reprobate, who's been kicked out of more than 1 or 2 cantinas in his time.
Poor Andy, you can't say that.
Poor Andy. Becoming a respectable man these days. So, yes, Darth Elvis and Friends, especially for you.
What, the Kylie Minogue song?
No.
Especially for you.
Yeah, that's Kylie and Jason. Yes. Especially for TFI Life Day, we have the world exclusive first play of Darth Elvis and Friends, Good Night But Not Goodbye.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend, but you know time, friend. good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye. Just one more drop, friend, before we stop, friend. Just one more moment face to face. Next time you're dry, friend, try stopping by, friend. If there's a light in the place, we may not thrive, friend, but we survive, friend. Look, we're alive, friend. You and I. So say goodnight, friend. Good night, but not goodbye. Just one more dance, friend. Just one more chance, friend. One more chorus, one more tune. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road, friend, and we'll travel back again. But it's too late, pal, to celebrate, pal. We'll have to wait, pal. Don't you cry. Now it's good night, friend. Good night, friend. Good night, friend. Da 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 da. Follow me. Da 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 Good night, but not.
Wellman, what a nice name.
When I left here the other night, I felt something that I haven't felt in longer than I care to remember. I felt alive again.
Greetings, this is Julie Dolan, voice of Princess Leia, and you're listening to Desert Planet Discs. It's your only hope.
So that was the incomparable B. Arthur, Akmina, performing Good Night But Not Goodbye. Well, in fact, it wasn't, was it? No, it wasn't.
It was B. Arthur doing her very best Darth Elvis impression.
It was.
Which is uncanny.
Darth Arthur playing Good Night But Not Goodbye.
Yeah, the talents of that lady know no bounds. She almost sounds exactly like you as Darth Elvis.
Yeah, but she's got a deeper voice than me, so. Yeah, sorry, that was Darth Elvis and Friends performing Good Night But Not Goodbye, galaxy-wide exclusive. Stay tuned to the Darth Elvis YouTube channel for some future videos, ladies and gentlemen.
The Empire has declared martial law.
And from there, we go back to Kashyyyk, and we have the happy family reunion. Chewbacca and Han Solo return safely from their space escapades with the Imperials, and obviously find themselves facing more Imperials in Chewie's house. And one of the stormtroopers gets tossed off the side of Chewie's home. And Chewie gets to see Mala, Lumpy, and Itchy, and they all live happily ever after.
Yeah, there's no arms being pulled off at this stage, but again, family show.
Family show. So we're almost at the end of the holiday special. And I know what you're thinking. You want another hour and a half, an hour 45 minutes of it, because it's too good. You need more. if you need a Life Day fix, there's a couple of things coming up that might tide you over until Holiday Special Part 2. Carl, could you give us some insight into...
There is indeed, and the publishing world is embracing Life Day in 2021. We're getting a Marvel comic, Star Wars Life Day #1, which is featuring 4 stories from our Cannon Fodder guest recently, Cavan Scott, and Justina Ireland, Jodie Hauser, and Steve Orlando have all written Life Day linked stories for a Marvel special, which should be landing in comic shops sometime later this month.
24th of November, I believe. It was meant to be out on Life Day, I believe, but it's been delayed a week.
But better late than never.
Indeed.
And yeah, so that's coming out to help celebrate Life Day. And then another recent interview subject, the wonderful George Mann, who I had the pleasure of being in the panel that recently featured on Making Tracks at the Meanwhile at Coventry Festival, Comic and Art Festival. And George Mann has written a book, The Life Day Treasury, which I believe you're in possession of, sir.
I am. I'm holding it in my hand right now. It, as you mentioned, written by George Mann and also Cavan Scott.
Cavan's involved as well. There we go.
Illustrated by Grant Griffin. It's got 8 stories, a nice little introduction to the idea of Life Day, but you've got 8 stories in here, including The Tree of Life, which is the last story, which takes you back to Kashyyyk and meeting some of Chewie's family again. Back cover features some familiar faces in their red robes with their glowing orbs. They're balls of light, if you like. Yes, I've just started reading this. I'm a few stories into it. It's very good. It tells you about different celebrations of the latter part of the year in the galaxy far, far away, not just Life Day. Yes, highly recommend it. If you're a fan of the holiday special, and obviously all our listeners are big fans of the holiday special, go grab a copy. It's a nice hardback book. Yeah, go and check it out.
Yeah, George was saying at the Meanwhile Festival that the idea behind this Life Day Treasury was that it was stories from around the galaxy as if they were the kind of things that maybe a young Luke and Leia would have been read, kind of like we have with 'Twas the Night Before Christmas and things like that, you know, that are staples of getting ready for the holiday season. And that was kind of what they were aiming for, was these sort of stories as if they were in-world stories that had been collated to be then told within the galaxy. So
I can definitely say that it's one of the books that gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling in your heart when you're reading it. Yeah, exactly. So you're indigesting it.
And they're warm and fuzzy.
They're warm and fuzzy. And I guess moving on, we've got one other holiday special treat you can watch on Disney Plus, the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, which came out last Christmas. Indeed. And again, in preparation for tonight's episode, I recently rewatched the Lego Holiday Special as well, and rewatched Terrifying Tales actually just before Halloween, so to get really spooky. And then you needed a lighter affair to kind of bring you back.
Yeah. So I managed to reflect the picture to behind the sofa where I was hiding, having watched Terrifying Tales. And that picks up on some of the concepts and some of the imagery and characters from the true holiday special, I think we shall call it.
Yeah.
And
deal.
Yeah, you've got Itchy in there.
Indeed, yeah.
And Nala, I think.
I think Nala's in there as well. Can't remember if Lumpy's in, but
yeah. But he'd be much older by now, so he'd probably be taller, so we wouldn't recognise him.
True.
And as a Lego character, he's probably nowhere near as cheap looking.
True, very true. Yeah.
Bless him. But yeah, it's fun. Have you rewatched it recently, or?
I did. I watched it not too long after we watched Terrifying Tales about 1 million times because the young boys really like that, and we put that on soon after, and they really enjoyed it as well. And yes, they're starting to get more interested. It's like, what happens here? Who's this? They want to hear more about Anakin. It's like, okay, yes, lure you in. Join your dad and your older brother and watch Star Wars religiously. So yes, the Lego's definitely going down well with my kid, and obviously they like the toys as well. So I'm skinned.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they like the toys more than Dad likes paying for them.
Yeah. So yes, we need to get some Darth Elvis tracks online so people can download them.
Indeed. Help pay for his Lego habit.
Yes, indeed. So,
with that in mind,
yes, I was going to say that takes us to the end of the holiday special, the Life Day special, where we have the actual celebration where they go to the Tree of Life with their red robes on and their glowing orbs, and there they see Leia, Luke, Han, R2, C-3PO all waiting, and Carrie does a little sing-song.
Yes.
A song called A Day of Peace.
And no expense spared. Unfortunately, our budget didn't run to having Carrie.
No.
But we have, I was going to say the next best thing.
We definitely spent a lot more money than they spent on the holiday special.
We did. Yes.
For our wish masks. And robes.
Yeah, so for Life Day 2020... Was it 2020 or was it 2019 even?
It was 2020, I think. Yeah. Pretty sure.
There you go. Time flies when you're locked in your own house. Life Day 2020 then saw the release of Darth Elvis and Friends' second track of the evening, but obviously chronologically, it's a bit like Star Wars. We'll release them out of order.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Life Day song, A Day of Peace. And with that, may we wish you all a happy Life Day, a peaceful Life Day. This is Darth Elvis and Friends, A Day of Peace.
We celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony, a day of joy we all can share together joyously. A day that takes us through the darkness, a day that leads us into light, a day that makes us want to celebrate the light. Hot day, everybody. Hands, yeah. A day that takes us through the darkness, a day that leads us into light, a day that makes us want to celebrate the light, a day that brings the promise that one day we'll be free to live, to laugh, to dream, to grow, to trust, to love, to be. Hot day, happy Life Day, everyone.
Darth Elvis and Friends there with A Day of Peace, the song popularised by Darth Elvis and Friends, but originally sung by Carrie Fisher in the Star Wars Holiday Special. And that brings us to an end for this TFI Life Day celebration of the ultimate celebration. But what's the greatest thing about celebrations? There's always another one around the corner. And coming up, and next episode will be the much heralded long-awaited 2021 Desert Planet Discs Christmas Special.
Hot dang!
Hot dang indeed. We will have fun, festive frolics, and maybe a special guest or two. Tune in next time for the Desert Planet Discs Christmas Special.
Be sure to bring your Mudhorn eggnog and your Minot pies.
Indeed. And with that, all that remains to say is it's a hot dang from me.
And it's a hot dang from him.
Hot
dang.
Thanks for listening to Desert Planet Discs. If you want to stay part of the action and up to date on all the latest Star Wars news, check out the Fantatrax app via the App Store on your mobile device.
You can contact us via email at radio@fantatrax.com. Comment, like, and share on any of our social media feeds at Fantatrax, and be sure to subscribe. Leave a review, preferably a 5-star one, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcatcher or smart speaker of choice.
Don't forget to head to fantatrax.com/radio, home of Fantatrax Radio, and follow us on our social media feeds at Fantatrax, and bookmark fantatrax.com for all the latest in Star Wars news.
Bam, 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 bam.